This week in Counter-Strike, there's a new bug that pro teams have been using. Falcons have finally signed Kyousuke for after the major, and FaZe released a documentary about why their team failed. And we'll start by talking about this bug that Adik was using at PGL Astana. So if you're unfamiliar, basically what you could do is you could buy a scout or any gun, and as long as you were not the one to shoot the gun, somebody else can take it and they can fire the gun, maybe get a kill, and then they can bring the gun back to you and you can sell it as long as you don't move. And clearly that has some big issues, especially on Dust 2. Now, in the examples at this tournament, there were no kills that happened, but you could see where it really opens the door to some not good things happening in the game. But yeah, it's been banned immediately. You can't use it at Astana anymore going forward for the rest of the event. But what do you think, Vo?
It felt kind of like a nothing burger to me, but then you're saying like, yeah, it could be kind of game breaking on Dust 2, which is true actually, especially on the T side. You drop someone a scout or you drop them an op and then you refund it. It can be kind of game breaking. In the game itself, it's just kind of funny because they do it and I think they lose the round, but they lose the game 13-3. So it's like had no effect at all and people are freaking out about it. But yeah, I mean, it is a bug that probably shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, I mean, the only map that it really affects is Dust 2, to be clear. So it's not an actual game-breaking bug. It's more like a map-breaking bug. But the community response of this is of course, it's all the same. It's people complaining about CS2 being an unfinished game and whatever. You know, we have the G2 manager coming out saying that they can't, like, they knew about the bug, but they didn't use it. And Woody is like, oh, well, you didn't say anything about Monacy, which is, you know, again, if you remember CSGO bugs, Monacy had a glitch that literally removed smokes and window on Mirage. That was in CSGO. He had a glitch that just, and everybody was like, oh, that's sick tech. But in this game, if you can sell a gun, like after you shoot it, it's like, oh my God, CS2 is so bad. Whatever, man. It's a bug. It'll be fixed. That's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, bringing up the Monacy one is pretty clutch from Woody, because the Monacy one, both, to be clear, both supposedly Woody got this approved. Monacy got his approved as well. I think the TO even confirmed it. But yeah, absolutely Monacy's was a more game-breaking bug. If we're talking about game-breaking bugs, that was that was completely broken. And in my eyes, it's unbelievable that the tournament let him do it.
That is really interesting. And you know what else is interesting is today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Skin Club. Now, you must be over 18 before you play on the site, but if you are and you do decide to play, Skin Club is a site that has over 100 cases that you can choose to unbox. Now, you can either unbox them individually like we're doing on screen now, or if that's not your thing, you can actually put a bunch of cases into a case battle and play versus another player, where the winner gets to keep everything that was unboxed during the battle. And when it's all said and done, you can use the upgrade to take the skins that you got that you're not the biggest fan of and see if you can maybe get away with something better. And then once you finish, you can actually withdraw any skin that you want right onto your Steam account. If you decide to check out the site, make sure you guys use my link for a 7% deposit bonus. Just make sure that you play responsibly, and let's get right back into the video.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really matters. It's not an example of CS2 being broken.
That's not even like the only bug that Monacy used to do. Do you remember the one where if you threw grenades behind smokes and it kicked up dust, it would be like wall hacks behind smokes? We used to have like some insane tech. Like me and you used to sit and try to find areas where you could do that. And I remember people just being like, oh, that's sick. That's great. But if you could do that in CS2, you would never hear the end of it. Oh my goodness. And that bug is still in the game, by the way. Go boot up CSGO. You could still do it up to the last event. Can you tell I'm not really a big fan of people doing this nostalgia stuff?
You're turning into Thor.
Dude, I'm so petty, bro. I'm actually so petty. Like I'm getting so annoyed about people complaining about CS2 as if CSGO was perfect. I can't get over it.
This is straight up petty grievances. It's like,
it is.
Let me just trash on the fans forever.
I have to get it out because I'm just watching, like, as a content creator and someone who's been in the scene and the community for a while, like, I remember making videos and reacting to all of these bugs as they came up, and nobody cared. Everybody was like, oh, that's sick. I gotta try it in my game. Now, if there's any bug, like, there could literally be a pixel gap on a map that gives you no info, and people are like, bah, unfinished game, esports ready title. Like, bruh, like, geez, I have no idea why people are so pressed about this game. Anyway, so that's where we're at with the bug. Hopefully it gets fixed. And I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about for this week, to be completely honest with you. We do have the FaZe documentary that came out. This one is an inside look at why FaZe is not doing well. Obviously, in this documentary, they're not talking about any strats in it. It's just mostly the team's reactions, a couple of motivational talks you can watch as Kerrigan, Rain, and Frozen get tilted, and Elige talks positively about himself. But overall, I think it's a great video. It's very telling. And what's your biggest takeaway from this, Vu?
Yeah, the Elite talking positively about himself thing. I actually think that's like a positive, but just the way it was put into the documentary was just so fucking funny. It's like everyone's like depressed, like, oh, I can't believe, how do we lose? We got to stop losing. And Elite's like, it's important to keep talking positively about myself. I know exactly why he's doing that, because it's easy to get into a bad mental headspace, and I bet that's something Elige has dealt with in the past, which might be why players think he's like passive aggressive or something, because he's like dwelling on past mistakes. So he's trying to move past it, but it's just so funny. It's just so funny.
It's good to get an inside look, and I love that FaZe is posting these kinds of things because, like, I mean, remember, I think it's good. It gets people talking. It feels the fans feel more connected to the internal of the team. Like Falcons gave one a while back, if you remember the mouse incident. Shout out to Boros changing his mouse. But it's like having an inside look. It can sometimes be weird because now everybody has different opinions on what's wrong with FaZe. In this video, it's brought out a lot of people who think that Kerrigan is the problem. Now, obviously, as someone who said Kerrigan should retire many times in the past, I actually don't think that this documentary supports my claim. I feel like he's a leader and his troops are basically not giving him what he wants. So obviously he's going to be frustrated and he's going to give these motivational talks that seem empty because he just doesn't get the results to back him up. But I don't blame him. Like, the only thing that he could realistically do more, apart from what we see, is just fragging in the server, which that's where I think he should retire, not from the external stuff.
Did he give some like motivational talks, like actually motivate? Because like I watched it like a week ago or like whenever the first day it released was, and my takeaway was that my initial thought is people want everything to be like a movie where you have this leader that has this crazy motivational speech, like, oh, we need to go out there and win now. We need it. And I just don't think that holds true to reality. I think leaders that do that type of thing kind of grow, like, they wear on people because you know it's kind of like bullshit. Whereas sometimes the reality is like everything's and nothing's working, and there's really no special speech that's going to change that. And I don't know if there's anything Kerrigan, like, what are you going to say? Elige, why did you peek it 2 seconds before Frozen was there to trade you? Elige, that was so dumb. It's like, that's not going to help. Like, it's just, the team was so lost. Was there like a
it's not really like, it's not like a sit down and like, get ready to fight for your country kind of speech. It's more like like keeping people in the game and like trying not to focus on or dwell on everything that's been going on. It's just like the small comments that like a leader would give, like, it's okay guys, we got this, let's just go next, or it's okay boys, we're the better team, we know what we're doing, like they're not doing anything fancy, we got this boys. Like stuff like that is what I would classify under like motivational speech. But it's overlooked because you feel like it's something like, oh, of course everybody says that, but I guarantee like half the people watching this video, if you were in Kerrigan's position, dude, you'd be dead quiet saying nothing. So it's like, it's hard to be like that, and it's like definitely a quality of a good leader.
I don't know, there's nothing, I just don't think there's anything Kerrigan could really say that it would help. To be honest.
Exactly.
Like,
no, I 100% agree with you. And so now it begs the question of like, if they're already having some weird tension in the team, adding Simple for Brokey, it's Simple's not known to be a non-toxic person, let's just say. So I'm not sure how that's going to play a factor. It's mostly just going for results. Like Kerrigan did say it's the all-in for him, but I don't know. The only problem is like with adding Simple, like, sure, we know that like it's probably going to make things more tense, but we also have to remember in this documentary that Brokey didn't have any words. Like, he was not in it. Like, he was completely cut out. You would never know he was on the roster if you just watched that documentary. Now, obviously, I get it. Like, I wouldn't expect Brokey to give an exit interview for their documentary. Like, he's probably not very happy, and so he's not going to do that. But because we don't have any idea of what he was saying in the team, we don't know what is being replaced. We don't know what if Brokey was the person that was keeping everybody together. What if Brokey was the one dwelling and tilting every match after the game, and he was like, I can't believe that you did this, I can't believe you did that, or whatever, right? We have no idea. And I feel like it sucks because I feel like we're missing a really key piece to the puzzle. Like, they gave us so much, but they just left out the one piece that would have like actually let us know what's wrong,
I think he's probably just would have been like every other member, which is that they're all depressed because they keep losing in unlosable ways. Like, I don't think it necessarily would have said anything like super, but like the question is Simple gonna do it? Is Simple gonna make it better? Austin, is he gonna do it?
I mean, who knows, right? Like, we've only been able to see him play a couple of pugs publicly, like he's been scrimming. So he's got time to get ready. You know, Dallas is in like 2 weeks now, so he's got time to get into.
I'm hearing a lot of waffling,
form.
Austin. Give me a yes or no.
I'll say yes if and only if he is comfortable when it's time. If he doesn't have enough time to get back to his former self, no, and it's just gonna be like it's just gonna be like brokey. Bro, the answer is maybe. Like he could, maybe. But it's like, okay, to be clear, let's just say he's not simple when he joins. He'll be like brokey, but a little better. You know, like he's still gonna miss, but he's gonna be a little bit better. Like that's basically what I'm expecting. Like I don't think we're gonna have simple from CS:GO. You know, I think it's impossible. There's no way you could be like the greatest player of all time. Like everybody has so much hype. Like he has aura. Like I get it. Like I know everything that he's done, but I have no reason to believe that he's just gonna hop back in and just be the best player in the world again. I don't think so. He could still be a top 20 player, but that's not the simple of before. Yeah. You know.
Well, he's not. He's not going to be the old simple. Of course, he's not going to be. But he's still like when he played with Falcons, he was inconsistent. I would say is one of the problems, but he was still a very good player. He was still clearly better than players like Brokey have been recently. You know,
it's just. He's a player that's always going to be better than the average opper by a good bit, but he's not going to be the best player in the world. So I think it's an improvement for FaZe, but do I think that that's going to be what separates FaZe from winning a major or not?
Well, that's a ridiculous. That's a ridiculous, and no, they just have to be good.
I'm saying good? Like, can Simple make FaZe good?
Can it make them compete? Can they compete with the top 4 teams with Simple?
Yes.
I kind of think it might still be no, even if they do improve. I think they'll definitely.
Just think about the last matchups that they had, like FaZe versus like Vitality. Like the matches, I mean, they're getting 2-0'd, but like if you have Simple,
they're getting 2-0'd, but like they look pretty decent. Like this is like NACS.
Vitality is a bad example. Vitality is a bad example because they've beat everybody. I'm just. Whatever, man. It doesn't matter. Like maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. We just have to wait and see, and that's all. No. It's either it does or it doesn't. You know.
I'll give it one statement on this: is that theoretically, Simple will not help the mood of the team, but as dumb as it sounds, sometimes the thing that fixes the mood isn't someone that makes the mood better. It's sometimes just winning fixes the mood. Like
true.
And so like if you just have Simple in the 3v1 that like is being talked about against Mouse, I think it's their last round of their last series they played.
It was the last series, but it was only the one map, first map.
Oh, it was first map. Okay, whatever. Yeah. It's like that 3v1, if Simple is there instead of Brokey, they just win the round and then they're in overtime. And you don't even
There's a lot of rounds like that across FaZe's last few months. Is if Simple was there instead of Brokey, like that's what I mean. Like they really could shape up to be good. And plus Simple is still going to win like the unwinnable 1v3s that he will. Like he'll win a few, you know? So it's like it makes FaZe scary in my opinion. I do think they compete against like top 4 teams like Mouse. Of course they can compete against them now. Like let's be real, they were already kind of close with them. Falcons potentially. But I mean, potentially. Vitality, potentially. Spirit, potentially. I mean, the Spirit's looked kind of rough, right? We could maybe even talk about that. Spirit might need a roster change. And that's interesting because the person that you would expect to replace somebody on Team Spirit is Kyousuke. But just the other day, they announced, or there was a leak, I should say, that Kyousuke has already signed to Falcons and he's set to play after this next major.
Yep.
For Magisk.
That's the part where you lost me.
Why?
The problem is that TaZeS should not be replaced. I'm not saying TaZeS deserves to be replaced, but Kyousuke, I'm calling him Kyousuke. Okay, stop with this. What is Asian? What is a Korean? It's like from some anime. It's from Naruto or something. Come on. Okay, but whatever. Okay, replacing TaZeS would make sense role wise, and I'm not trying to be a role cell. But this is like the inverse of roles that make sense. This is replacing your passive support anchor style player with an aggressive entry, and he's inexperienced. It's like you're taking. So now you just have TaZeS wants to go in as an aggressive player. Nico is an aggressive player. Monacy is an aggressive player. Kyousuke is an aggressive player. I'm saying his name the right way. And then you have kicks. So it just doesn't. who's going to be like the passive anchor that's going to like take the hit? And I feel like it's probably going to be FaZes that takes a lot of the shifts, that takes a lot of the brunt of the movement in terms of roles. But then at that point, is he really going to be, well, Magisk was pretty bad for a while, but like, is he going to be, what, couldn't we have just got like bit or something?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with you.
surely if you offered
like,
Navi 2 milli, they'd be like, you can have bit.
I would think so. But here's the problem, right? Like, just to avoid any confusion from the people watching, it's not that we think that Kyousuke is bad. Like, of course, he can be on a tier 1 team,
it's Kyousuke.
probably. Kyousuke, whatever, man. We'll just call him K. Of course, we think that K could be good on a tier 1 team. The problem is like, you can't take someone and literally throw them into what could be the best team, in the future, like a top 2 team right now. You couldn't just put him there and go, yeah, this is, hey, good luck, man. I see what you do in Face It Bugs, man. Just go ahead, drop 30, and we need you to do that. Like, bro, like, that's not how it works. There's been countless examples apart. Like, the only person I can think of is Donk. He is the exception. And unless he's Donk 2, I don't see it. You can't just take someone and just throw them into a situation that they're not comfortable with against opponents who are way better than they're used to playing and just go, yeah, you can do what you do, right? It just won't work. Like think about this. They did the same thing to Grim when Grim first joined Liquid. He was an NA farmer, very not Kyousuke stats, but he definitely had really good stats coming out of NA. Went to Liquid and they were like, you're gonna play all the anchor spots. You don't normally play those anchor spots, but now you will, and he sucked. So it's like, you can't really just expect this move. This is like, you're just making a power move, like a power roster move, just for the sake of making it, so your roster looks scary. But I don't know if it actually makes sense. Like, if we had, it's like picking up Donk to play these spots, but Donk doesn't count. Like, you would have Donk replace like Nico, but obviously we're never replacing Nico. You get my point though. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it wouldn't really make sense if you had Donk replace Magisk either. It would still be really confusing, but at least you have the guarantee that you have like the best player ever in CS2 joining your team. At least you have that guarantee. The only thing that I'll say is like saving this is that this actually, the more I think about it, the more it just seems like FaZes is also going to get removed, which would make this make sense, because if he doesn't get removed, but the problem is FaZes has been quite good. It's just it's like weird to like plan the replacement when he's been, I mean, he hard carried them at times against Vitality in the first series. And the thing that was keeping them from beating Vitality was that neither Nico or m0NESY really played like themselves in either series against Vitality. Like, not that they were bad in both of them. I think Nico was like pretty solid in the first one, but he still wasn't his level. And if they had played at their levels, they beat Vitality twice.
Here's the problem, right? Yeah, I can see the plan. This is what's going to happen. FaZes is going to play Magisk roles and go from one of their best players to one of their worst. So it's going to make sense on paper to replace him with somebody else in the future that's going to be like a huge star. And Falcons will eventually be the 5 best CS players, and they still won't win because they're going to be in the wrong roles.
Could be. It
actually could happen. Like, because if FaZes is not able to do what he was doing in that role, they will not think twice. He will be gone. They do not care what he has done for them in the past. He could have literally married someone's daughter in Falcons management. Doesn't matter. He's done. It doesn't matter.
I think if they're not planning on replacing FaZes as well, I think this move is very, very odd. Not that, like, even if we think Kyousuke could be really, really amazing, which he has a lot of potential upside. The problem is, like, when you look at Donk before they really popped off, he was playing consistently better teams. He had a lot more experience against like tier 2 teams. I mean, when you look at Spirit Academy, they get kind of spanked by top 50 teams. Like, they're not playing at the level that like the Spirit like Donk was on before they popped off was playing at. I don't think they were playing at quite the same level. So
yeah.
He could be good, but if they're not replacing FaZes as well, this move is extremely confusing to me.
It is really, really interesting. There's a lot of teams that are interested in Kyousuke, so it means that we'll probably get to see him in the next major no matter what. And the next major actually just got announced today, the day of recording. It will be in Budapest, the Budapest major. Who's hosting? Is it PGL?
No,
I didn't. Starladder, yes, of course. Starladder Budapest. So that's nice. So we at least now know when the next major is. So I'll be looking forward to that one. Will you be attending?
Nah, probably not. I mean, it's tough to go from North America to Europe, man. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Either way, I mean, it's exciting. There's going to be a lot of really cool rosters because at least after this Austin Major, I've already seen some interesting leaks. Like there's a couple we can just run through them. G2 are looking into Sunpius.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And they're also replacing their coach with who is his name is Saw. Every time I see the name Saw, I think of the team now.
Yeah.
So it messes with my head. So Saw would be coaching instead of Taz.
That's very bad.
Can't say I have any complaints about that. Sunpius, of course, will be a better opper for G2 than Hades. He just has more experience. I think he's just a stronger player overall. Sucks for Hades, but at the same time, at least he got to play a few events with them. And obviously, with Sunpius potentially leaving Heroic will need a new opper. And from what the leaks say, it looks like they are interested in Brokey right now. So, Brokey's going to have a team to go to. We always knew that. It's going to be like a top 10 team, like, a team that's fighting consistently to get some upsets here and there. And I think it's a fine move. It seems like a team that Brokey should be on, at least the way he's been playing recently. And that's no disrespect. That's a team that I feel like he's going to get a lot of value on. He can prove himself again, and maybe we'll see him again in a few years on like a team like Falcons. I'm just kidding.
Brokey to Falcons? Okay.
You never know, man. Brokey's the major winner, so he might have more aura than Monacy one day.
I do think the Sunpius move is a really good one, because when I think of oppers, like Sunpius he feels to me like an opper where he's one of the few oppers that I expect is just going to be able to be put in a spot and he's just going to hit the shots that he's supposed to hit, and you can kind of like rely on him for that from when I watched him.
Right.
And that's... In CSGO, that doesn't sound like a lot, but in CS2, that is hard to find. That's hard to come by. So, I actually think he's one of those oppers that he's going to be like a stabilizing force on a team with a little bit of instability. I think there's a lot of upside. And then you have Saw, who's a coach that I'm certain he helped Heroic get like a lot of their players, like a lot of the scouting that they've done, I'm certain must come from Saw. So it's like, this is what G2 need to be doing if they want to rebuild from where they're at.
It's definitely a step in the right direction, and maybe we will actually see a team built around Sunpius and Mulps and Heavy God. I mean, I'm assuming they would want to keep him as well. So it could be the beginning of potentially a new G2, I wouldn't want to say era, but like a new G2 roster that could be a top 5 team one day.
But you're liking the Brokey to Heroic move.
I'm glad that he's going to be playing. I don't know where else I would see him. Like Heroic is actually like a pretty good team for him to be on, because after what he's recently done on FaZe, who is barely even a top 10 team, like him getting an offer on any team above FaZe is not going to happen. So I kind of like this. It's more like investment for the future. Like a team like Heroic right now is like, they're going to have this roster for a while and they're going to improve together, and hopefully they'll play a little bit more structured than what FaZe was. We might actually see some value in Brokey. It's actually, not to be an optimist, because I know the community doesn't like that, but I actually think that it is a good sign. I think it's a good place for Brokey for a while, and maybe he can get his career back on track.
Yeah, I actually think someone messaged me on Twitter and pointed out, I think he literally, I would have to read it back. I think he literally pointed out that Brokey to Heroic would be a really interesting move. And I thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, as I thought about it more, it became less and less crazy, because that does seem like the exact level of team that I would want Brokey to go to, where he's been struggling. He can go to this team that's at a slightly lower level. Maybe he gets some confidence back, and it gives him a chance to, like, if he hits some peaks, he can actually bring this team to a high level, and he can actually get them some good results, and he can play some really good teams. And if he struggles, then it's not like the end of the world, I actually think this is like the perfect team for Brokey to go to at this point, given his like history, given his past, and given his recent performance. I would have to say, based on current performances, it's a downgrade for Sunpius. But if you're already losing Sunpius, it's a good move for Heroic.
He's got to be the best person. He's like actually the best person for Heroic.
It just makes sense. Yeah.
Plus, Brokey actually has a lot of experience. I mean, he did play with Kerrigan for the last, I don't know. What has it been, like 6 years now? Yeah. Or 5 years, because there was a time when he played with like Cold Zero and BMOS as well. But yeah, that was cursed. But yeah, so he's got a lot of experience, and I'm really excited to see if that move actually does
help Twist.
Yeah, it didn't. It really didn't, did it? Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point.
I wanted to bring that up a second earlier, but I couldn't remember the player.
It's okay.
Yeah,
you're right.
Didn't help Twist.
You're right. But he also went to an NA team, and we notably have a problem converting on stuff like that. So hopefully Brokey can bring something to them. And overall, it's been a pretty interesting drama-filled week, but that was just this week in Counter-Strike.